How's everybody? We're back. What's up? Hawk versus Wolf is here.
Yep.
We're the return. We were like gone a week.
It's
but
huge.
we have changed a lot of
The
stuff.
monster has put on new pajamas. I thought that was going to sound better when
You can't put lipstick on a pig. Wait, no,
What does
that's
that mean
bad.
again?
That would be like that means you can't make something pretty that's just inherently ugly.
Oh, okay.
So that probably wasn't the best analogy for our show.
No, we're more like we were good, but now we're on steroids.
That's it.
Yeah.
And we're back with Lizzie Armanto.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Yeah, we're back.
Thanks for I always felt just disclaimer, I always felt awkward that the only time you were on the show was to talk about your horrific injury, and it was just like there's much more to Lizzie than that.
And we got flagged for it. You know that?
No,
Yeah.
because
We got
the
flagged
video?
for your slam.
Oh damn.
TikTok got people getting kicked in the face. And they're not saying, please kick me in the face. This is like an unrequested kick to the face. And that's on there. But a professional skateboarder doing a professional trick and it went bad, that's too much for your fucking... Shut up, you dickhead. Who reports that?
It's kind of ironic because there's like other slams on there that are probably like like equally gnarly that aren't flagged.
Not too
Yours
bad.
is up there with.
Yeah, yours
yours
is-
is like top 5
But it's
heaviest
still a-
slams ever.
But
The
it's
Jake
still a
Brown
skate-
slam's like just out there.
And that's everywhere.
Yeah.
That's everywhere. Yeah. Well,
And
and also it was live. It was,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
it's just kind of
And
like
then they played it over
can't,
and
can't put the creature back in the
Right.
box. Like that
But-
thing is already out.
But TikTok could flag it,
True.
and they don't.
I do want to say,
Even though I saw yours again
yeah,
on
Mills.
Instagram.
I know Mills posted it, and I opened my phone to that. And I was like, oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Can you give me a second?
Yeah, I
I
agree.
actually felt
There
violated.
should be the warning thing.
yeah.
It needed that.
That was shocking.
When I posted mine on my Instagram profile, I put like a slide before it just for like a warning. So if you're scrolling my feed, there'll be like a little warning thing.
Yeah.
But now the way Instagram works is like sometimes it'll show like the second thing
Auto
first.
plays.
And so sometimes
Yeah.
you'll just be scrolling and it's just like no warning.
How is the body?
That was shocking.
Everything back to normal, 100%?
Yeah, I'm feeling
Good.
really good.
Good.
I've been skating. I'm actually like chilling for a second. I skated so much this summer and I like just put out my part for Vans.
Finished
Onward.
it, and it's
Yeah.
out. Okay. Did you go to Europe before?
This
to do-
summer I was like in Europe the whole summer. It was really fun.
You flew somewhere to do a trick on one particular thing, I was told.
Oh yeah, let's not talk about that.
Oh. Oh, wait, it didn't work?
It didn't work
Yeah,
out.
we didn't got all the way to the end of that story.
Oh, man.
There's something I really wanted to try, and I got to try it. I got really close, and so I had to go back for it. But I'm not bummed because I like going back to Europe,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and now I have an excuse.
Yeah. Wow.
I remember when Gregson was talking about it, we
Yeah.
didn't actually get to the end because I knew the outcome of it. And I was like,
Oh.
oh, we're just gonna leave it at that. It's fine.
Oh, yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
I
Sorry
just-
about that. I
It's
didn't.
okay.
anyway.
It's okay. To
Yeah, I
be
was just happy you were
continued.
going.
To be continued.
Yeah, on the next one you can talk
Yeah.
about it.
You know what? What'll probably take it. What might motivate you to make it is if I go and offer you a cake.
Yeah, that
'Cause
would.
that worked one time.
That
Okay,
would work for me.
wait, the messed up thing is, okay, I like stayed an extra, not an extra day, but like the last day, I was like, okay, we'll like try to like film it. Like we like spent extra time going out there, and then I was like, okay, at this point we have to leave because I have a reservation at Noma, which is like one of the best restaurants in the world.
Yes, it's widely considered the best restaurant in the world.
And Rune had got
How did
My
you get a
son-
reservation?
Rune. He has like the
Wow.
hookup there because he's like
I had to get one through a
Danish.
chef friend who had to meet me there.
Wow.
But go ahead. It's your story.
Yeah, so Rune like has the hookup. He like pretty much like has a bunch of hookups in Copenhagen because he lives there.
Sure.
And
And he's a legend.
he is. And so I went to Noma with Chris Russell, but I literally went from the
Oh,
skate
wait, I
park.
want to get into that story.
Wait, who's
after
Chris
this.
Russell?
Chris Russell, the muscle on Creature.
You know the guy. He's the dude that does the crazy disasters.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
breaks his board
Okay,
disasters.
yeah.
So he also is a big fan of food. Like his mom's a chef, and
Huh.
I like grew up skating with him and going to combi, but It was like really cool to catch up with. Like we were in Europe together. I was like, oh, like if we can get like a reservation in Noma, are you down? And he's like, I'm down. But no one else in the group was down because it is quite like a bit of money, and but it's also like a once in a lifetime.
It's a
chance.
once in a lifetime experience.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, it depends on
I flew to Copenhagen just to eat there
right.
last
Well,
summer.
way to big time everybody at the table. But yeah, I would go because you're saying it's one of the better restaurants in the world. I'm okay with paying extra to go there.
Right.
But I get it. I know people out there that are like, I could give two shits how good
Yeah,
that
yeah,
food
yeah.
is. I'm not going. So anyway, you go.
But it gets better. So I like go to the skate park, try to get this trick, try, get really, really close, and it's like, okay, we should probably go. And I was like, oh, let's just push it. We won't stop by the hotel. We'll just go straight there and drop you off. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna make it. Like, let's do that. And then it gets to the point where it's like, okay, like I'm just on empty. It's like not looking good. I was like, okay, well I have to go, otherwise I'm gonna miss my reservation. And so they drop me off, and I'm sweaty. I am like, I just want water and
Do you
salt.
smell like pads?
I don't.
Do
think
you smell? I don't want to be offensive. Do you smell like pads? Do you get that?
No, I don't. Cause okay, if you wear your pads, like, no,
Is she gonna teach us something about pads right now?
Please do. 'Cause
I was gonna say
you know,
I
how
have
there's people
vast
that-
experience with
that
it.
wear like shorts or like they'll wear elbow pads and it touches your skin.
Yeah.
When your pads touch your skin, it makes it smelly. But I always have like my pants on and then I put my pads over and it doesn't really smell as much. But also I think it might be some genetics because there's some people that are just cursed.
I don't smell. My wife always says it's kind of amazing because I sweat a lot and I wear jeans when I skate and my knee pads stink. So I think you just smell pleasant and we don't.
I do know that when I was wearing elbow pads, like my elbow pads, because they touch my skin, I've smelled my elbows, I've smelled the pads, and it's not
Okay.
pretty.
Okay, because
That's not
that
good.
happens to me too.
Yeah, same. Kathy says I get skate breath.
You have a different breath.
I come home and she's like, "You've been skating. You got skate breath. Like, go brush your teeth." Wow. I mean, she's not harsh like that. She just she notices.
Oh, I never noticed.
I didn't either. I didn't know that, but there you go.
It'd be cool to talk to some dentist of like, yeah, this is what happens.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. So anyway, you go to the restaurant stinking,
Yeah, I'm
just
like sweaty,
mediocre stinking.
and I'm like not okay. I'm like my stomach's inside out, and
From not eating?
yeah, from not eating because
Okay.
I just like tried this trick all afternoon, and
And
then
if you're going to Noma, you're not going to eat during the day, right?
I mean, I would have snacked because it was at the point where I was like, I felt shaky and not okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so then we get there, and like Chris was waiting. He like has like a button up on, and they like take us to our table. Then we walk through a beautiful garden, and there's just like all these beautiful plants. And I just want to stop and stare at that, but I'm like, no, we're late. We have to get in. And we get to our thing, and they serve us water, and I just keep like chugging all the water. And then
Oh, they're little cups too.
yeah, but they
Yeah.
have the jug, and luckily I could just like
Yeah.
grab more, but I don't know. We were like waiting for food, and I'm just like, I need something. And we would get like the little bites, and the first thing that comes out is this like thing that looks like a flower pot with like a flower in it, and it's interpretive of like, okay, like what part do I eat? It's like kind of too fancy.
You're not even sure which parts you eat.
No,
I would assume it's all of it, right? Like that's kind of their trick, or no?
So I grabbed the one part that's the flour, and I was like, I think you eat this part. And I bit into it, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that tastes good. And then there's like something chewy in there, and I bit into the wax, and I was like, oh no, I wasn't supposed to eat that part. And I like kind of just like tucked it away, and I was just like, oh my god, I'm such a noob. Like
Yeah.
I don't even know what's going on. And then the first like 3 or 4 dishes, like I couldn't even enjoy them because I was so hungry. Like I started feeling like sick, and then I did a juice pairing too, and
What's
Chris
a-
did the
Instead of a
pairing.
wine pairing, you get a juice pairing.
Cool.
So like I
Sober guy would love that. Huh? That sounds cool as hell. I'm in.
had like all the different like
All
things,
different juices.
and they're really good. But I was just like, I don't know, up until like 3 or 4 dishes in, like I couldn't enjoy anything. Like I was just like, consume.
So was good or not good?
I don't know for the first ones. But after that, when I like was like kind of just like stable, I was like, oh, okay, this is really good. I like it.
Were you a little bit bitter on the way to the restaurant because you didn't make that trick? Or are you able to just cut that off and go about your day? Because to me, I get bummed that if I think I'm going to do something and I'm like, today's the day, and then it doesn't work, I'm kind of sappy for at least the rest of that day.
I mean, I was going to the best restaurant in the world, so I was pretty
It just
excited
turned
about
it around.
So, I mean, obviously, leaving the skate park, I was like the walk of shame back to the thing.
Yeah.
Like every part of me didn't want to go, but then once I was like, okay, like if I don't go right now, then I'm gonna miss this, and
Yeah.
this is like equally important. Not equally, but it's like also of high value in a different
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
I need to go.
I'm happy to hear that you can do that because I
Oh,
think
I
that's
like
a
food.
To separate yourself from that.
I think it's a more
Yeah.
level-headed human being which lives a happier, content life. Like I can tell you, like I tried to do a 540 in Utah and I got knocked out on a body jar before I even started trying them. And I remember, like when I woke up, I was like, "Oh, I'm still in the demo. Don't even worry about it." And then, like an hour later, I was like, "Oh, you're not in any demos for a long time." And I had a job to do, so I think that helped. Like I had to announce, and my brain was not really working, and I was like, "Oh shit! Like you're gonna really have to turn it up to do the job you were paid to come here and do." Because I felt like I was like, I could just go to sleep right now. And I'm like, "Oh, that's a good way to feel before you announce in front of people." But it also consumed my time with like, you're not gonna do it. You're not gonna get it done. You know?
I think that's like something our brain, like we allow our brains to do to ourselves.
Yeah.
Like you can easily get into a funk, and I feel like I've put in a lot of effort to like learn not to like go down that road, because like beating yourself up, it just never helps. Like you can feel upset with yourself, but you don't have to be mad and upset with
Yeah.
yourself.
Have you ever been like that in previous times? Because it sounds like you've done some
Definitely.
work. Okay.
I have, but I'm also not the person that like outwardly like explodes. Like I've seen people, they like have a tantrum. Like I
Yeah.
won't do that. Like I'll just be in my head like
Yeah, you know anyone that does that?
Fuck you, Tony.
I do it
But I
too.
can't
I do
take
it too.
myself
You
seriously.
actually, oh yeah, you do. It's kind of funny.
Like if I like try to like outwardly explode, like I just like I'm like, what are you doing? Like
Yeah.
like it would almost like make me laugh at myself. Like you're just really you're really being an idiot now.
Tony,
Like, this isn't okay.
You've been in all the eras. Is this her era, a less hissy fit
I
era?
don't know. That's a good question.
Because I feel like I grew up in an era where all the vert dudes, if you couldn't make anything, it was totally fine to just flip out. Like if I had a dime for every time I was at the ramp and
Throwing boards
Danny
against
was
the
just
wall.
sending skateboards out the
Yeah.
window and focusing and then setting up another one, pissed, and then back up on the ramp doing it again. We were all doing that, and I think it rubbed off. I think it became easier to do it because you were like, "Well, he just did it 5 minutes ago. I'm gonna throw my board out."
I didn't take cues from anyone for it. Mine was more internal always, but definitely I will let it out sometimes. But I don't know. I don't see. Yeah, like if I see someone trying something here in recent times, the more modern skater, they don't really snap.
Right? That's
It's
what
kinda
I think I've
disappointing.
noticed. Agree. I agree.
No.
No, it's not disappointing.
I
It's
mean-
fascinating.
I feel like focusing your board is not a good look anymore.
That's
like
it,
it's
Yeah.
it
like,
never was.
it's-
It never was. I never did that one.
But I think at some point, like there is a part like when you're growing up and you see someone focus a board, you're like, they're powerful. That's cool. Like I want to do that just because like I want to break something. Like that's fun to do. But then you like if you see someone just breaking boards, like I'm like, oh, it's wasteful. Or
I
like,
broke
And
one
it's also just pretentious that you get them for free.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah,
It's just-
somebody told me that.
Just in your
once.
face, like, dude, I want a skateboard. You know, people they need skateboards. They want skateboards, and they're like, cool, you just break yours.
I mean,
I
it'd be
would've
better to
taken
just
it.
give it away. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I've had a friend say that to me. He's like, I would have taken that.
Right.
And I was like, he's like, but you get them for free, so you can just do that. And I was like, for the record, I've bought boards that I've focused as well. Like, this is not a free concept. This is a,
I have a problem.
this is a, I have a legitimate problem that I saw. There's a video on YouTube from XYZ ramp, like the last day that we all skated it, and I fall off on it by accident, and I cock my hand at the flat bottom, and I stop myself.
Oh, I've seen it.
And then I give up and punch it. And watching it 20 years later,
Punch the ramp.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you got real issues. Like I saw you go, no, that would be irresponsible. Not to mention you could hurt your hand, and then lost it, wham, and I'm like, how would that feel? I feel like you could have broke your hand. just can't control my anger.
It happens. Like we're all human, and we have things to work out, and it's like it's up to you to like realize, oh, like does this serve me?
Yeah, I think you're right because for the longest time I never thought about changing anything. I never caught it. Like looking back at it and seeing the video now, I'm like, wow, you really needed to work on yourself. I did, and I find it easier to not flip out now, but it's still a thing that's it's in there more than the average person. It's very rare that I meet someone that holds that much uh anger towards not exactly even sure who is getting it, but I definitely am holding in some anger from my childhood.
I mean, also, I think like just learning how to channel that. That's like
Yeah.
it's not bad that you have like a lot of passion, because I think
Right.
you could like we could say like, oh, it's just it's anger, it's this, it's all that, but like you can take all that energy and put it into like this.
I've
You're
I've
right.
had days here where I was trying something over and over and over, and then angry, not crazy, but definitely you could tell, and then gave up, and I've actually apologized to Jared and Cameron who were filming me. Like I'm really sorry, guys. And they both said you got to keep that passion. Like
Yeah.
we like what we saw today, even though you didn't make it. Because I wasn't just defeated. So there is something there where
Yeah.
you got to keep that fire burning. You just can't let it get the best of you to the point where it's self-sabotage.
Right.
Mhm.
Because it does a service for sure. Like if a trick's scary and you're not figuring it out and you're like, oh, I don't care how bad this looks, I'm gonna make this work out,
Yeah.
and then when it does work out, I'm gonna have the balls to roll away. That's a lot. It takes a lot. Sometimes it would go flying out the side, but often that would really, like, I would persevere. I would sweat through 4 t-shirts and stay and make it. And I'm like, you know how I made that? Because I'm fucking pissed and I don't stop. But sometimes by the fourth hour when it doesn't make it, then that energy goes flying out all over the place and
I
doesn't
remember
help
seeing
anybody.
you tried a trick for Saturdays that we were there for a good hour at least. An hour, no, more than that, like hour and a half. Then we went down the street and ate at a legit restaurant.
Mhm.
Sit down restaurant, order from the menu. She's still there trying it, which
Yep.
I guess says a lot about us that we left, but she was committed, and
If you've
we
had
were
your
pretty
days,
sure
dude, don't worry
we
about
were pretty sure you're gonna make it. And then we got food for her, and the filmer came back. She took a break, ate, went back to it for another hour, and made it.
it. Yeah.
It was a like 4-hour journey. It was amazing. I still I use that example to people all the time. I was like, I've seen Lizzie like the most frustrated and the most defeated, not saying anything, but you could just tell that
Yeah.
there was something there, and still do it.
Yeah, I remember many times at the DC ramp having the worst flip out, boards flying everywhere, pads flying everywhere, helmet booted out through the big door, and then I smoke a joint, go ride my little 50 motorbike around the parking lot and down these, because back then there was nobody around. Ride around for a little bit, look at the sun, you know what I mean? Like try to forget about my life, and
Yeah.
then come back in all quiet, pad up, like gonna go back out there. Yep. No, I can't have eye contact because I'm still like in a dark place. And then I've done it. Not all the time, but every now and then I've done that, and I've had like I'll never forget. Danny said at one point I was trying. They had the Philly barrier up on the ramp, and that's when it had the bigger bank that's set back, and I did what is it, like 180 backwards frontside grind, then ollie back in, and I've never been a ollie back in guy, you know what I mean? And Danny was like, "Dude, you've got that." I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Look like you got that." So that was the trick where I flipped out, left, came back, and then did it. But when I did it, Danny came up to me and goes, "Dude, I thought you had no chance making that. That was crazy." I was like, "You're the one that told me I made it." But just the mindset
That's a Danny move.
of like when Danny's like, "Dude, you've got that." I felt like I couldn't leave that day until I made it because the great Danny Way was pretty sure my buddy could do it. And then to have him immediately tell me that he thought I had no chance, I
Do
was
you
like,
feel
well,
like
cool.
I wonder, Lizzie? So, do you feel like ever that's your motivation, where someone believed that I could do it or said I did it? I feel like I see you do it, and it's very internal. It's more like you've decided you're gonna do it.
Right.
Yeah, I have to be able to like visualize it. Like a lot of times, like people be like, "Oh my god, you could do that," but if I like don't like understand the ending, like I can like go and throw myself into like a bunch of things. I feel like it's pretty easy to pretend something, but then when it comes to like that last bit, like I like bail like at the very, very, very end,
You bail when you've made it.
pretty much.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have to see it in my head, and then otherwise,
It would the
I do
loop.
too.
I know we've.
Same thing. I have to see. If I'm like, I think I got it, that doesn't feel right for me. Like just to land blindly, I have to be. That's the hardest thing about being older is that at least at one point I could put my wheels down and still get off in time to not slam into the transition. And now I'm like, that's a harder trick than making it. I may as well just go for it.
And more dangerous.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
all four wheels, then get my knees to the ground and not in a hard way. It seems next to impossible. Like I'm like, man, I don't think I can get off in time. May as well just.
But I
roll
remember
away.
when you decided to do the loop, and I'm gonna go back to the beginning because I remember telling you maybe even a year prior to that,
yeah,
where I
because you
said,
asked me, you're like,
yeah,
"Oh,
I
we're
said I
gonna."
think you could do it. Like I just know that you have that perspective and that technique and the drive and the willpower to do it. And you were always very hesitant or evasive about it, which was fascinating to me because when the time came and you got invited to try it, even then you were like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. And then you left, and the event that we were doing happened, and a couple of people made it. And then you emerged from this building fully padded as everyone was leaving the parking lot.
Oh.
The production had shut down. They had an RV. They left. The people that made it, like we had confetti and shit.
Yeah.
That was all over.
Yeah.
Like the party was over.
Is this on your intentional?
And then Lizzie came out, yeah, because then she did it on her own terms. It wasn't like she was.
I wasn't
under the
trying to do
gun.
it for the show. I mean, if it
No,
could
it
work
wasn't for. I
out,
know, I
but
understand that. What I'm saying is, but what I saw there was it wasn't that I told her she could do it. It wasn't that there was this pressure of the event. It was like she just wants to do it, and
Yeah.
she's gonna do it on her own terms, in her own time.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. I got to do it, and when Tony explains the day where he had it set up for all these people to do it, and you had to wait in line, that did not sound like an invitation I wanted to
Yeah.
be a part of.
it
But
was terrible.
I just want to know what your thought process was that day, because you definitely left the scene and came inside, and then we didn't know if you were coming back.
So you had the event, and it was literally like the worst scenario to like try and do this thing, try to do the loop, just because there was like so many people, and everyone has their like own way of coping with something scary.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're like standing in line with a bunch of people freaking out,
Right.
and some people are like talking to you, some people are like having a mental breakdown, and you're just trying to look at what someone else is doing and like be okay in your own head. Or I was trying to just be okay in my own head of just being optimistic.
Yeah.
And it came time where someone was ready, like Jeremy Green was ready to do it, and so
Yeah.
they pretty much took out all the pads, and I was like, okay, well, I'm not just gonna jump in and do it. I'm not there yet. I don't have the technique, and so I was like, okay, well, I'll just wait till they're done. And they did the run of show, and then people started to clear out, and then I was like, okay, well, looks like we can skate the thing again, because there were so many people and there was so much stuff going on that I was like, okay, I just need it to like clear out. And then I pumped on the ramp a couple times because you can't really warm up on the loop thing.
Yeah. No.
It's just like one wall and you're there.
Yeah.
So I came out and was like, okay, like we can still skate it, right? And then I didn't realize they were like pushing to take it down so fast. Like I thought it was like, oh yeah, well, it's still here. You can like just skate it. And there was a couple other people that were like here that were trying to skate it too.
I don't remember who else was here. I remember I had to hold off on everyone taking it apart because they were trying to get it taken apart before dark. That was the whole push. And I was like, if Lizzie wants to do it, Lizzie's doing it. I don't care if we have to take this down tomorrow and pay laborers, whatever. I'm just telling you that was the conversation behind the scenes. And then
Did you know that?
No, I was just like, oh, we could still skate, right?
yeah, but I was just, I mean, I was happy to extend the
No,
you
I
know
know. No, the
the
Birdman really
expenses.
tries to help people in the loop. Like he gave me a lot of help. We talked about it
Well, it
recently.
wasn't that. It was like I saw that she wanted to, and I was like, It's not. This not gonna. This day is not gonna end with we have to rush to take apart the loop. Sorry, you can't do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's not how that whole thing was gonna play out. Um, but I don't remember who else was. I feel like there were a couple of stragglers, but it was mostly Jaws.
Yeah, he was the one who like was really just kind of sticking it out for me. Like he just was like
Mhm.
doing the motion and try to like explain it to me. Sean Hale, I remember
Sean Hale, yeah.
he gave me some advice of like, yeah, you just don't do anything. And I was like,
You really don't.
so you don't like go up the wall and pump? He's like, no, like nothing. And I was like, oh. And then I tried that and I was like, I'm on the wall. Like I could do it. And that's the whole thing of where it's like if I can figure out the technique, I can do it, but I don't know if I'll figure out the technique. So when you ask me like, "Oh, do you want to do the loop?" I mean, yeah, I want to do it if I can figure it out, but if I'm not just going to go for it. Like there's a lot of people that are like I'm going to stomp this and just like roll away. I don't care how. Like if I'm going to do something, I want to do it right and I want to do it clean.
Yeah.
And even after I figured out the technique, I kind of just got into like a rhythm of like, okay, like slowly we'll like take out the pads, and then it came time to just go and do it. And somehow in the first one, I like just completely blanked, and then I fell like before I went up, and so I like
Knee slid at 12 o'clock.
yeah, I like went all the way through.
It made
to
it all the way
other
around.
side, and it was
There's
fine.
a still frame of her knee sliding at 12 o'clock,
It's really wild.
That's scary.
which is another MBD.
Yeah. Yeah.
But after that, I was like, oh wait, that was just like a mess up. I'm gonna correct that. And then I went and like almost got it, and I just kept like coming out of it like a little too forward or a little too back. And then by like the fifth or the sixth one, I like made it through, but then I like kind of just fell before I got to the end of the ramp. Like I went through the loop, and then there's another 10 feet
Yeah.
where you like roll away, and
Yeah.
I like everyone came up to me and was like, "Oh, you did it! Sick! Like this is cool." And I was like, "I kind of like I don't really feel like I did it. I'm gonna go back and like do it." And
Yeah.
then Tony's like, "Yeah, okay." And then I went back up there, and the next one I like made it.
Okay.
And then I like roll away from the parking lot, and I was just like, I don't know. It's almost like you like blank.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really weird.
But it's fascinating to hear you say, like, I'm just gonna keep trying to figure it out. It wasn't. It doesn't sound like to me in your head that I'm gonna do this no matter what, and especially in terms of that, like certain tricks, but definitely the loop in particular. When people see it, they were either obsessed with it. For what I've seen in my generation, they're either obsessed with it or they don't want no part of it.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like I've never seen anyone approach it where it's like, maybe I'll try. Okay. Yeah, I'll start to figure it out. Like Jason and I in particular, we saw that thing. We're like, I have to do that in my lifetime.
Yep.
Like there's no way you're gonna keep me off that thing. And I actually had it built, and we talked about it last show. Like I had it built and incorrectly, right? But I was obsessed with it. And I've seen that over the years, a few people, maybe a dozen people that were obsessed with it. Some couldn't figure it out, but no one had ever had that approach.
I
Where
feel
it was
like
like,
it's
maybe I'll try
mentally
it.
easier. Like
I
Yeah.
guess.
like it's good to set your mind out to something, but I think sometimes when you get to that thing, it's not what you thought it was. Like some
Yeah.
people are like, I wanna climb this mountain, and then you like realize everything that goes into it, or realize like, oh, there's like all these harsh, it's not harsh conditions, but you realize it didn't mean what you thought it meant. And so for me, like doing the loop, like once I realized it's like, oh, it's just like a carve. Like it's
Yeah.
a really gnarly one, and it can come at this like either you make it or you take a terrible slam.
Mhm.
Like I was like, oh, okay, I think I'm equipped enough that I can make this. And
Right.
I was really fortunate because I remember when the last pad went out, or no, not the last pad. Basically, when I stuck to the wall after Sean Hale gave me the advice of like, don't do anything, I was like, oh, okay, like I figured out the technique. This is real. Now, like that question of like, do you want to do the loop
I
is
see.
like a real
Yeah, right.
question in my head.
Mhm.
And at that point, I was like, it's worth the slam. So I'm gonna go through with it. I'm either gonna make it or I'm gonna be obliterated.
I knew I was gonna slam, so that part was already out of the way. I was like, we're gonna take a lot of slams today, but you're gonna make it. So, but at one point, I think when the pads were still there, and I was just catapulting and flicking around in the air. I was like, "Oh, you're like really bad. And you're not. You probably shouldn't even be here." And then one happened where I saw it, and I was like, "Well, I saw that one, so if I can just stay alive long enough." But when they first took the very first one without the pads, so terrified, and I get the blanking out thing because I think I did. I think I was like, "You can't bail this one, and you don't know for sure if
Yeah.
you go all the way
Yeah.
around." So I think it was like once you go down the roll and there's no brakes, like you're definitely going all the way around. So it was a weird switch to click because I was like, you're not, I do 540s. They're hard, they're scary, but I know when I'm halfway around that I've got it. Here, I was like, I don't have anything to relate. I don't know I've got it until I am like past the loop and rolling away, and it was like a little bit of shock wanted to set in.
Yeah.
And I was like, don't go into shock because then you'll like not do the right thing. So it was like a mind fuck that really got to me a little bit.
I think it's also weird just because like skating transition, you always like go up the wall,
turn around.
you come
Turn
down,
around,
Yeah,
yeah.
and you
that's
can
so
have, like,
hard to
a-
get
Once
out of.
start
Yeah.
looking back, right?
Yeah.
Well, almost like you want like a setup. There's no setup
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
loop, and so it's really jarring. It's just first wall, and like most of the time when we're trying a really hard trick, you don't
You
drop
get,
it.
You get the rhythm.
Yeah, you like
Yeah.
get to be like, okay, 1, 2, go, or like
Yeah.
you can do hype up tricks to like get there
Yep.
and be like, okay, now I have to like set
I think
it
the
off.
line saved me. Tony told me just watch the line, and that stopped me from looking back or starting to adjust my shoulders at 12 o'clock. I just kept looking at the line, and it kept me going that way.
Yeah.
Because that's really all you got to do is just follow the line. Like you'll make it if you just think about your. I feel like I did it and felt like I was just going straight,
Yeah.
not doing anything. And all of a sudden, there I am back on my feet again.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even know what I did. To me, the rhythm and the line, that's how I made it. I knew that it was 2 pumps. I pumped into it and I pumped out of it. And my body got in the right spot to do both those pumps. So I was balanced when I came back down because I was like, it's 1, then it's 2. Like rock to fakie to me is there's a tick tick tick. There's
Yeah.
a rhythm to it. If you do the rhythm,
Oh my god. that's
there is.
reminded
I
me.
know rock to fakie to loop makes barely. sense,
No, it's
but
Well,
funny
it's
because
scary. A lot of people don't like rock fakies.
right, because if you do it wrong, it is a horrific
Oh,
slam.
I
It's like one of the worst
I
slams
just
you
had
can
this
take.
conversation. So I've been giving Kid Cudi skate lessons.
Yeah,
Right, for the last 2 weeks, and now I'm just his personal, like, because he's building a mini ramp at his house.
yeah.
So he just calls me yesterday because he's telling me he's going to drop in.
Today, like he's got it ready.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And so I'm trying to give him pointers over the phone. He doesn't know any terminology. And then he starts talking about, well, when I get to the next side, what do I do? I was like, well, I don't think
Celebrate.
you need to worry about that right
Yeah.
now. But he's like, well, I go to the top. And I was like, well, then you're going to do rock to fakie. And that's a little more daunting.
Yeah.
That's a bigger chance of a slam,
Wait.
I think. And trying to explain to him the technique of a rock to fakie when he doesn't really understand the basic terminology
Right.
was a challenge.
Do you know what's happened since then?
No,
Right.
I didn't get an update. I'm sure I'll get one.
Oh yeah, you will.
It's crazy
way or
how
the
all those the loop really reminded me of a drop in, because when
Absolutely.
someone describes it, they're like, okay, so you want to
Like,
lean forward but not too far forward, like don't turn your shoulders,
commit.
don't
Yeah.
lean too far back. Yeah, you have to just go and wait for it. And I don't know, with the drop in,
Big-
like at that point
Bigger risk factor.
if you've never dropped in, it's like kind of the same thing of like
Yeah.
lean forward.
That's what I
don't
was
lean
trying.
back.
Yeah, and I also had to tell him, like, I know you're good at doing fakies and stuff right now, but the drop in, like shifting your whole plane from being standing up to the ramp is not what you think it is. So we'll see what happens. I don't know.
Can't wait.
What I do want to ask you, what was the first thing you did? It doesn't have to be a trick, just technique or whatever, on a skateboard where you realize, like, oh, I can make things happen doing this. Not like as a career, but just, I mean, like must have been a spark where you accomplished something on the skateboard and you thought, oh, I want to keep doing this.
I remember the first trick that I did, and I was like, whoa, I thought you had to be good to do this.
What was that?
It was a front Smith grind.
You do have to be good to do that.
I don't know. I was like, but I growing up at my home park, like I could drop in, I could pump around. I would say carving's my favorite trick, just because you could just go and you didn't have to. Like if at my home park, there's a bunch of different bowls. It's in Santa Monica.
The Cove.
Yeah, and you can go in each bowl and then like just do all the different lines, which I was like, this is the best. I don't need anything else. And then I started like kind of learning tricks, and I learned how to do a Smith grind, and I was just like, whoa, like this is weird. Like,
Did you go up and grind with the intent of doing a Smith?
yeah, I was trying to learn it, but
Okay.
I was just like, this is like way out of my league. Like I mean, I'm here, so I might as well try it. But
That's
good luck.
amazing.
Good luck to myself.
Sounds like you had
That's
a lot
pretty
of
sick.
fundamentals
Yeah.
for Smith grind to be first try easy.
No, I mean, I had to try for it. And I think I'd known other tricks, like I was 50-50ing around and
Okay.
maybe doing like rock fakies. But,
That was the
but every little kid does that. But not
Yeah.
every little kid's doing a Smith grind.
No.
okay. Hold on,
I
right
feel like
there.
your carving was a little bit different than
Yeah.
a little kid.
What do you mean?
Like your calves were probably pretty good.
But not every kid's doing 50-50s either. But what I was going to say is, I remember the first time I saw you skate, and it was at the Commie in Orange, the original, the Vans Commie, the original Vans Commie. I'm too confused.
I know what you're saying, but
It's not even the original Vans Commie. It's the second Vans Commie.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, good
Whatever.
point.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
The Vans combi at the block in Orange, even though it's not the block anymore. It's the outlets.
But it's the second Vans Commie because the first one was the white one that was all slippery and weird.
True.
Anyway, I digress. I saw you skating it, and well, what stuck out first, there were very few girls skating the Commie at the time, and you were super skinny, and doing 50-50s around the corner with full confidence. And I know you think that like 50-50s, you're saying, oh, most kids can do that. Most kids can't do them, especially around the corner like that.
Yep.
And that was the first thing that I noticed. I was like, wow, like that's something special. Do you remember like what was the first time when you went skated there?
So I went to Vans for the first time just because I'd heard of it. Like there's this like big skate park indoors in Orange County. And I didn't really start actually skating there until my team manager from SMA, the company I was on before Birdhouse, was like, hey, they're going to do this big contest, Pro Tech pool party. There's like a spot if you want to skate. And I hadn't skated a contest before. And I was like, yeah, like, sure, whatever, I'm down. And then I started going down to the Vans Combi. And it's so different than any other bowl. And I was just like, okay, well, I'll just try to learn every trick I know how to do in this bowl. And at that time, it was really scary because it was the white combi. And I could like 50-50 at the pool at my home park. But then the coping at the white combi was so chunked out that you really had to like push through it. It was like chalk.
Yeah.
And then the
I must have seen you the year after that then.
yeah, but then the plaster also was like
Oh yeah, it
really
was awful.
bumpy.
It was so
there
sketchy.
was all these kinks
Yeah.
and stuff.
Hmm.
And I don't know, it was just really scary. But then they redid it and then it was so nice. Like it was like perfect in comparison.
Oh, they redid it and made it better. You mean
Yeah.
that same one they redid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
There used to be like a little channel too at the end. Like
Mhm.
in the shallow end, and now it's just like
oh,
It's closed.
yeah. But the
that's
lines
gone
are
though,
better.
right?
It's
closed.
there, but the park is closed.
I just skated it like
She
a
got
little
the
bit
golden
ago
ticket.
for my
So it's
video.
available for some people still.
I don't know.
Maybe if you have a
it's
signature
hard-
shoe on Vans, you can go skate it.
Right.
It
I
wasn't chill to go. There was like a lot, like it was like legal was all involved, and they're like, you can only do this. This person has to be there, and like it was very.
Oh wow, but it's still there.
Still
Yeah.
there, yeah.
Does that mean they're going to reopen it? Okay.
But it's good as ever. Like nothing's changed. Like I went there and I was like, hey, this is like same as it was. It was like
Like
all
going
the
home.
time
Yeah.
hadn't passed. It was just, and also it was crazy because I was like, wow, I filmed one thing there, but up until like this past summer, I didn't really ever film there, and it was because it was blown out.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, wow, like it's so crazy to think about how like we get so into like, oh, we all skate this thing all the time, like right now, and like it's not special. But then, time passes and like with combi, it's like no one can go there now, and I don't know, you like there's no footage because it was like, oh yeah, it was blown out, they're not special. But as time passes, it.
So does that mean if you have a trick in there now, everyone's like, "How the hell did you get in there?"
Well, I'm sure they assume she can get in there, but yes, that's definitely there's some. It's been closed for a while.
Right. But somebody can skate it.
I did, but I don't think they're trying to open it up.
Right.
Yeah.
What a weird circumstance.
I got to do during COVID. The Huntington Beach Park was closed. The Vans Huntington Beach Park, and we got to do a commercial there. And because the commercial has their own insurance, we were allowed to go there. And I was definitely people were kind of jealous that I got to skate there. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I got told to get off the vert ramp the other day when I went there.
That's right.
Yeah, it's all like I think.
Poor guy had to come over and tell me.
You have to be on the
"Dude,"
list, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
he's like, "I know who you are, but they're telling me you got to get off the vert ramp." I'm like, "I'm just trying to do this one Smith grind." He's like, "Just do the Smith grind." I was like, "Okay," but I was so close to. I'm like, if you stop me from doing this after I drove here to film this trick, I'm gonna call somebody. Like, I'm not
Because you were doing it on behalf of the foundation too. So.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna call Steve Cavallero and be like, Stevie, tell this dude that I'm doing a Smith grind. Like, I wasn't gonna let that happen.
I called Steve Cavallero.
Because I was like,
He's
I'll
the-
call
he's the
Steve.
I'm on-
keeper.
I'll call Steve Van Doren if he doesn't pick up and be like,
I'm
Steve
on a group
Van Doren,
call
Jason Ellis.
with Cab and Lizzie and Steve Van Dorn right now.
Yeah.
They're all on the phone.
Yeah.
Talk to him.
I'm like, now tell me that I need a wristband. Come on. Yeah, but they let me do it anyway. But I could tell, like, the one guy was like, really? You want me to tell Ellis to get off the vert ramp? Like,
Yeah.
just a
he's not going to
messenger.
think that's cool, I could see his face on the way over. I was like, oh, I've seen that face before.
Yeah.
Poor guy. Hey, man. I'm like, it's okay.
I got that face at the Plan B ramp. We'll talk about that though. So, Lizzie, what has been the most surprising experience that you've gotten to that you've had because you skated?
The most surprising experience I've had because I've skated.
Because you followed skating as a career, or the highlight.
I mean, the highlight. I feel like that's just getting to travel the world with your friends. Like, I feel like that's a really special
Yeah.
one, and also, like, I feel like when you get to pursue skating as a job, you can like try so many more tricks, and like find your potential. Whereas if it's like something you do as a hobby, it's kind of that thing like you never know how it could have went, and I don't know, you just get to meet so many cool people, and I think it just makes you think about life differently. Like I've always felt like a light person, and I know when I found skating, I felt like I could really just be that. Whereas before, I felt like I needed to like figure out my stuff and be tough or like know what I wanted to do. And I found skating and I was like, oh, this is what I want to do. And people were like, no, but what do you want to do? Like,
Yeah.
for real, like you have to, have a place to live
Mm.
and all these things. And, if you want to do that, you have to figure out like a real job.
Right.
But I don't know. I feel like that's pretty special. And
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know, just
In a more grandiose sense. I just wonder, would you find yourself in a place where it's like, how did I get here?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like traveling the world, like anytime you're in like a new country and experiencing that's so special. Like I got to go to Angkor Wat and I was like, that's pretty wild. Like
Cambodia.
yeah, so
Yep.
there's like the giant temple
Yeah,
in Cambodia.
me too.
And there's it's so insane that at some point your brain like can't process it anymore and you're just there and you're just like, yeah, another giant temple. Like this is the other giant section of the temple, and there's a tree coming out of the temple.
And monkeys that want to attack you.
Yeah, there's like all this stuff that is just so far from your daily life.
Yeah.
And you got there because you're skateboarding,
Yeah.
which is extra cool. Yeah.
It's a cool sport. Those situations, that happens
Yeah.
to me all the time still. Every now and then I go, why am I here?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's like,
I feel
because
that.
of this thing you did
Yeah.
like a long time ago, you kind of always get a little weird hall pass for things,
Yeah.
I never get used to it. It's always like,
If you go to things where there are star athletes of other sports and stuff,
Yeah.
do you feel like what me? Why me?
I mean,
And I only say that because that's how I feel. I'm not projecting on you.
when I go to those things, I'm like, oh, it's cool we're here. Like, no one really knows me in comparison to these people, and they have to like, I don't know. When I see professional athletes and they have to do like after the match or the game, they have to do like a press conference. I'm
Yeah.
like, thank gosh we don't have to do that.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
that would
there's
be rough.
versions of that, but
Yeah.
imagine like yeah, like
Ours
yeah,
are much more renegade.
my performance today where I did my run, I couldn't do that. I couldn't
Yeah.
I couldn't say. I was just like, yeah, I was just trying. Or even when I watched when we went to the premiere for your thing and there was someone interviewing you when you were a kid about like the competition, like I'm so glad we don't have to do that today.
What happened?
He's just talking about you're just talking about the documentary, like
Yeah.
because there's a scene where they're like, who's your competition? I'm like, pretty much anyone that entered is my competition.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, okay.
I,
He went
like who
through
do
the
you?
whole start list.
They
Like,
said who do you can have a tough time beating? I'm like, I'm gonna have a tough time beating anyone that entered. You
Yeah.
know, namely all these guys.
and
Right.
went through the whole list of like going like, yeah, this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy.
Being honest, kind of. I mean, I mean, these days.
But that was far removed from any sort of sports press conference. That was like Don Hoffman with the camera sticking in my face while I'm practicing.
Right.
True, but
that's-
now everyone sees it. But it's just imagine if skateboarding went like that and we had to like talk about that. I mean, in forms we do, but more formally.
Yeah. What's happening with the next Olympics?
I don't know. It's happening, but I feel like
Do you still have to qualify for Finland?
I mean there isn't any qualifiers this year. It got canceled.
Oh, that's right. Andy just told me he was in Rio and that
Yeah. So
turned into not a qualifier.
yeah, that was supposed to be the Olympic
Right.
qualifier, but for whatever reason it fell through, but they still threw the contest just for
What?
Brazil.
How's that work?
I don't know, it's like a whole
the
ba- I
So
don't
does
know.
that mean just last?
because
year
it's
they-
Brazil because they are so passionate. They're like, we're gonna have a contest no matter what.
Pretty much.
No, I'm saying why is it not a qualifier? Like who
Oh,
decided
who knows?
to make it not a qualifier when there's only one
It's a
qualifier?
shit show.
So what are they basing it off? It sounds
So
like you don't
next year there's going to be events, and then I think all the standings for park will be from 1 year to
Right.
qualify for the 2024 Paris Olympics.
know. So there will be a qualifier.
Yeah, there has to be
I
one.
mean, unless they all fall through, but I don't think that's possible.
Okay, just making sure they didn't just go whoever was in it last time, you're in it again.
I don't know. It's really wild watching it. Like they're still figuring out a lot of kinks and
Is that a
it's-
big thing for skateboarders these days to be in the Olympics? Is that like a thing that a lot of pros talk about or argue to be a part of or have plans? Like, you ever hear any other athletes go, "Yeah, I'm going to do good in this contest because I'm going to be in the Olympics"? Like, do you know any skateboarders that care more about doing well in the Olympics than any other contest?
I think the Olympics.
Like, do you?
I mean, personally, I feel like I'm not sure. I mean, I'm probably gonna try to compete in the Olympics again, but I'm not like I'm not confirming that. I've just kind of just been seeing how it goes because I have a lot of opportunity right now, just like with my shoe and I don't know different.
Right, so it might not be like if you had a video part that was a big deal that they wanted you to do and it was going to be around the same times as the Olympics.
It's just not
that might-
possible to like do those two things at once. Like
Right.
you're
It might be okay with you not to be in it, you're saying.
yeah.
Right.
And
So I'm sensing from you that you can take it or leave.
yeah, I
the
mean,
Olympics.
I really just wanted to be a part of the first one, just to like experience it, and then from there on, I'm like, okay, like let's see if it makes sense to go again.
So the experience wasn't life-altering greatness.
I mean, I think it was worth it. Like
Yeah.
I'm really happy I got to go, and I think we'll see the benefits. Like I already see the benefits of the
What
Olympics
benefits are
happening.
are
I mean,
they?
on the women's side, there's so many more women that got to like pursue skateboarding that
It gave
would-
them careers. You're saying.
It gave them validation.
it
Okay.
gave
And-
them
and
time
it-
to like pursue skateboarding, and when no one else would like give them the time of day.
Okay.
Yeah, especially for people who are getting into it in recent now. Since then, girls who start skating have much more validation in the fact that they try or that they want to because there's a whole new generation of adults that are like, yeah, do it for sure.
Yeah.
And they
Whereas,
get support. Like they can get support from their country to like go to these events to compete.
What kind of
They can
support?
get like just even the ticket to go.
The country will pay for it.
Yeah.
That's
yeah, you know how
pretty
the Olympics
fucking-
works.
No. I've never.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
The countries pay for the travel of their athletes.
Even if it was a $500
You're coming
ticket,
by. You're coming in from like NSA events where you have
Yeah.
to pay your way and find a place to stay.
Yeah, I am. Hey,
That's
don't tell
his
me
angle.
everybody listening doesn't know as much as me. This is probably interesting to somebody that isn't fucking Tony Hawk. You might not know. I'm interested. I'm kind of stunned a little bit that I can tell you're like, I mean, if there was a bigger contest on, I'd gladly go in that instead.
No, I do both.
Right, but it's not. If you don't go in the next one, you're not going to be shattered or anything.
No, I feel like I don't know. I don't want to say I'm comfortable, but I feel like I've worked really hard to get where I am, and I'm, like if I decide not to do the Olympics, I don't think I'm just gonna fall into like the abyss and like not be forgotten.
Right.
Like I think I could still hold my own and like have a career. Whereas I think some people like maybe if they don't do that, they won't have the chance at a career.
Right. Okay. So
And
but
a
it's
lot of
more of
girls
a
are
career
hungry for
move.
it, which is sick.
What's that?
And a lot of girls are hungry for it. And like men too, for sure. Like women and yeah.
To be in
all
the
ages.
Olympics.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I.
Yeah.
Because at one point it was not cool to be in it. Like at one point I was hanging out with guys that were like, "No, we're not doing the Olympics." And I remember myself.
I think that's still there.
Is it
I mean, I think yeah, depending on who your friends are.
okay? And who
Yeah,
are-
there's plenty of skaters that they're ripping skaters and like, not doing that.
right? Okay. Vert skateboarders. Oh, they don't.
Vert?
Have a job
They
there.
don't
no
have
vert.
they don't
Oh, I
have
just realized.
Olympics.
Park guys. Okay. Sorry.
I mean, I
There
think
is some
there's
motion
talk.
towards
Yeah.
vert in the Olympics.
There's
for
supposed
sure.
to be that event in South America,
Yeah,
What event?
a vert event. That's
it's supposedly the one of the first qualifiers, even though
there's no.
it wouldn't be in Paris. So, like in 2 years, they're not gonna have vert in the Olympics. That's just not gonna happen.
Okay.
Maybe in 6 in LA. Maybe who knows?
Okay.
It should be there,
Yeah.
but we've already spoken our piece about that.
Yeah. There's more.
I have a trophy for you that I think should be your Olympic trophy.
I have.
Hold on.
All right.
Can I wear it around my neck?
It's not gonna trump you.
I
Oh.
don't know. Can you?
What the hell?
I mean,
Hello Kitty phone.
thank you. Oh my
Wait.
god, it's so cute.
Why?
This
What's
is-
happening right now?
Like I'm giving her a Hello Kitty phone
Why? Why do you have that?
'cause
because
it's an
she's
iconic photo.
awesome.
No.
Huh?
I want to see like what year this is from. This is vintage Hello Kitty, you know.
That's an OG Hello Kitty phone.
Vintage.
What's happening right now?
So
1976. Slash.
that's not from 76.
Why do you have that?
Slash 2003. So probably 2000.
Okay,
Please explain
here's
what's
the
happening.
story behind the Hello Kitty phone. I went to a Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards almost 20 years ago or something, and they have
You
they
have
had
a
a
phone
gift.
call.
They have the gifting stations where they give all the either presenters or nominees all these random gifts. That used to be like how they would get promotions.
Okay.
They take a picture of you with the thing they gave you. You know, this is before social media, so it's just like that was their way of promoting it, and they're basically using celebrities to endorse their products, even though
And they gave
under
you
the
that
guys.
phone.
they had a photo. Someone took a photo of me on it like this, like
Yeah.
just looking away, and somehow that photo has resurfaced recently, and went kind of viral. Like I only know that because I get tagged in all the time. I have no idea why. Because it's
iconic. Like this, I don't know. Hello Kitty in the 2000s is like a big thing. Like, I mean, also just there are like cult Hello Kitty followers.
yeah. So, but because there's
That's
a
a
photo
big-
of me.
That's a big deal.
I don't
Wait,
know
hold
if
on.
this is I
There's
mean,
a
it's
photo
big
of me
deal
on this
because of
phone,
social
and I kept making it around. So finally, I was just like, I got to update that photo. So I found this on eBay.
Okay, not.
I
wasn't
bought
the
it.
One.
What's that?
It's not the one you were using.
It's not the one I was using.
Okay.
I don't know if they actually even gave me that one.
Okay.
They might have, but I found this. I took a photo. I recreated the scene, whatever, and then I could tell when Lizzie saw it, she was all about it.
Oh wow. Yeah, because you know a lot about it.
I actually have this Hello Kitty book of like all the products.
Oh, really?
Yeah, up until the year that the book was made, and so I will find this exact one.
This was hard to find.
I actually remember in like early 2000s, I had a teacup Hello Kitty alarm clock.
Mm.
which is very like somehow it's like I didn't even drink tea back then, but I was just like, wow, I already knew. I love tea.
My first wife was a dancer, and she had a client that would always come into the club and not ask for any dances. He just wanted to sit and talk with her every time. And he was a Japanese guy, and he would always bring Hello Kitty stuff for her. So I was just always, she'd come home with a bunch of Hello Kitty stuff, and I'm like I'm like, so the guy doesn't want to dance or anything? No, just gives me hell. I'm like, seems like a lot of money's worth of stuff. It's like, yeah. Like, what is his deal? I didn't like him because I was like, I don't trust you. What are you trying to date her? You know what I mean? Like,
because he's
he's
legitimate attention.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
In Japan, though, they have those cafes where you just like go and like cuddle someone, or you like go and have like a talk, but you like can take people out for like a temporary date, or I don't know. It's but I don't know.
I took Katie to a Hello Kitty restaurant in Japan.
Really?
Yeah,
Was it
it was
good?
like no,
Yeah,
but
okay,
it was
good.
awesome.
Probably had good desserts.
It looked.
They had
good.
Hello Kitty pancakes.
Ooh, I would
That's
like that.
cool.
Yeah, and then we went to a cat cafe after that.
Super dad.
Have you seen the cat cafes?
No.
I have. They're really cool.
They're
looking.
amazing.
But
Are they
I'm
full of
allergic
kitties?
to cats, so I'm so scared.
Full of cats.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like
Wait, they have that here,
one-
right?
Now I think there might be a couple.
There's one in LA, I think.
Yeah.
the funny thing is that they call it a cafe, and they just basically have a soda fountain,
Yeah.
with little cups, and you can go get soda.
It's
That's
a
the
it's just
cafe.
a room with like.
It's just a room with
animals.
tons of cats, but they have their own little exit doors. So if they're over it, they can just leave. They look like mouse holes. It was funny.
It sounds cool as shit.
It was cool.
When I was there, I went to like a maid cafe, and then I also went to a hedgehog cafe. But they also had geckos at the hedgehog cafe.
What's a maid cafe?
Yeah, thank
So
you.
there's like these. They'll just dress up as maids, and then they serve you like whatever you order off the menu. And then they did this like little.
That's kind of that sounds
What
a little
did they do?
fetishist.
I mean, it's Japan, and they had like us do like a little. I don't even know what you'd call it. It was almost like a ceremony. They're like, I don't know. They make you like they put the headbands on you because they have like the little cat ears, and then
Yeah.
they do something like "moi moi kun," and we all do it together. That was my.
I don't know why, but that
Have you
sounds.
been to Japan?
Yeah, but I was little. I was like 16. I went right after I did a Skittles commercial, and I was the red Skittle.
my
So I had a total red board, red wheels, red trucks, red everything. And I tried to go skating, and I got told I was in big trouble for skating on the sidewalk by police. So then I got a restaurant tray, and I just stayed in the hotel room doing hand plants in the pool. I didn't go anywhere with my parents. I was like, I'm staying here,
Oh my god.
working on my Andrax. Had a serving table, and I would just get upside down and be like, tweaking.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't want to see anything. I'm gonna go see
You must
the.
be- you're like you are literally a kid in a candy shop going to Japan.
Yeah, I love it
You're
there.
all about boba and tea and Hello Kitty and
Yeah, but Boba's Taiwan,
well they have it there.
Excuse me.
kind of. It's like
Did you go to
Oh,
Taiwan
never
and
mind.
have
I stand
yeah,
corrected.
boba
yeah. Oh,
experience?
wait. So in 2019, I went to Singapore, and then I like had 2 extra days, and I was like, and then after I was gonna go to Japan, I was like, wait, I'm just gonna change my ticket. I'm gonna go to Taiwan for like 2 days by myself.
To drink boba.
And to
Yeah.
swim in boba.
Yeah.
Ah.
Wait, did
And-
you really just do 2 days of boba?
Pretty much. I like went to like the place where milk tea was invented, and they had some special.
That is such a Lizzie tour.
I also
This is-
went, I like had-
don't take this the wrong way, but this is the lamest thing. Like, I'm tripping out.
It's
on it. You
awesome.
went to another country and spent 2 days by yourself, just being a boba enthusiast.
yes. And
Was it
dumplings
life
are from-
changing? Was there
yeah.
boba you've never seen before?
No, it was just from the motherland, and it was delicious. And
The motherland
and-
of boba.
no, but the thing is, I'm like so sensitive to caffeine, and so I went there, and there was some special where it was like, oh yeah, if you get a regular, we'll just make it a large. And so they brought me a beer mug of boba milk tea, and I was just like, well, I'm here and I have to do it. And so I drank everything, and then it was amazing, and then like all the like little dishes amazing, and then I was up till 4 in the morning, like by myself, like I can't sleep, I can't do anything, I'm not okay.
Because you raged on boba.
I did. I was probably just like in the bed, like I'm not okay.
Wow.
Just,
Boba
like-
OD.
Yeah, I didn't know this could be a thing, but
Yeah, I
Wait, what was it? What was the the shop that you were gonna open with Kathy? She and my wife were gonna open a.
Yeah, we're gonna do like a boba bread face cafe.
What's
like so
bread
there's-
face?
Bread facing is this like I don't know. It's probably like a.
He's not gonna. There's no way he's gonna
Okay,
get it.
I'm gonna
but
butcher
I
it,
want to
but
hear him try.
I think it's this person you can pay for a subscription, and she just like smashes her face in bread. It's like
Wait,
a. I think it's
And
a
you were
fetish
gonna
thing.
have her at your store?
Yeah, and then we're gonna serve alcoholic boba tea drinks.
Boba and bourbon.
But
I
there
was
gonna
all
be
about it.
But there was gonna be a lady there that headbutts bread.
Yeah, it'd be a part of the whole mystique.
That is a selling. Like if someone told me, man, if you go to this store, there's a lady headbutting loaves of bread, I'd be like, why?
All kinds of bread, not just loaves.
Oh, she
yeah.
mixes it up.
Special
Yeah,
requests.
Like she'll be like, okay,
Wait,
you want
what,
what kind of
eat it
pastry?
afterwards?
No, she does.
She headbutts the bread and then she eats it,
Yeah,
and that's her job.
I think so. She gets paid to do this.
Yeah, how much?
You'd have to ask her.
Could I headbutt the bread, or is it an art form?
You would have to create your own following. It's not like you're gonna do any collab with her.
She
mean,
won't do it.
You should just reach out.
I don't know.
Maybe she
It's
could
been
give you a
it's been a
lesson.
few years.
I still follow her.
You do?
I think she has like a Patreon now, or like a like.
Oh,
something
Wait,
like
were
that.
you paid to watch her headbutt bread?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Does
Special
she live
requests.
here?
No, New York.
And you were gonna fly her out to headbutt bread.
When
Yeah.
this was the fantasy retail store. We were like, this was the business that we were all going to create together.
And it was gonna be here, around here.
It could be anywhere. It could be a pop up.
Yeah, I think more of a pop up.
Right.
But I tried to name it Bourbon and Boba, but that wasn't really flying.
Right. Wow.
There you go.
You-
That's for you're welcome. There's your business idea.
Just saying, if this podcast fails, I can headbutt a mean loaf. Hit you guys up. Just in Carlsbad, smashing my face into bread all day. Whew. Here you go. Wait, oh no, sir.
We should do the pop up.
We should.
It'd be pretty fun.
I think I want a tea house someday. I'm gonna manifest that. But
I
I
want
don't know.
a tea house.
I don't know. I
What?
don't know about the bread facing thing. I'm still.
Oh, come
yeah,
on.
I mean that
That
was
would have to be the pop up.
yeah. We were getting a little sideways with it, but it was sounded fun.
It's that bit is that's the kind of extra bit that would make me like Boba. They'd be like, yeah, but there's a lady there that headbutts bread.
Boba, bourbon, and bread.
Yeah, I can't drink,
The
but I'm
triple
definitely
B.
going for the headbutts. Just so can I just sip Boba while she headbutts stuff? I'm fucking down. I'm into that. She hit it hard, or
You go look.
I like your version of it better though. Where she's just
Yeah, and it's like,
head
"Here you go."
banging baguettes.
Like if it's rush hour, she's just like, "Goo, goo, goo,"
I
just
feel like-
cranking them.
I feel like your version of that you're envisioning is like the people that smash watermelon.
Kinda. Yeah. What? She gently smushes it,
yeah.
so she
yeah.
just like goes,
Yeah, yes, yeah.
and then eats it.
No, but your version is I like it.
Is there a face printed in it when she does this?
Go look.
I
It
don't
sounds
want
like you're
to go
really into it.
Little, you're selling it. I mean, lady headbutts bread. I'm in. I don't even know what we're in for, but I'm in. I'm there. Sounds exciting. I don't know how long for, but at least 4 or
It's
5 headbutts,
inspiring.
I would say. What?
It's inspiring. I would say though, like
It's
she
inspiring.
She has her thing going, and don't
Yeah,
know,
I mean that's the thing is she built it, and it's like the pimple popper lady, all that stuff. Like, there's a whole Dr. Pimple Popper. You know,
Yeah, I
that-
follow her.
yeah. Well, that I'm just saying, like, you found your thing, and
for a second on my Instagram Explorer that was popping up, and I was like, no, like get it away.
I go, yeah. Sometimes my wife turns over because a lot of pimple popping videos on TikTok have a really annoying song to them, and I don't want to turn it down because I want the full intensity.
I want the full experience every time, even though it's the same song.
Yeah, I don't care. It's pimple popping time, baby. But my wife will hear the song and be like, "What are you doing?" And then lean over, and I'm
Watching.
like contently watching pus come out of something. She's like, "Oh my god, what is wrong? You've been there for an hour." And I'm like, they keep coming.
this one's better than the last one.
Blackheads, whoa! You know what I mean? Like I get super excited, and you got to get them out. I'm like, "Get that one. You haven't got that one yet." I'm like, she got it.
Oh my god.
That doesn't happen to you.
I mean, I feel like if it, I don't know.
We're down the rabbit hole.
Watching it online is like not the same as like if you just saw it in person. And I'm not saying that like I want to be that person.
I do. If I could be like, if you could just come in with insane blackheads, that would be a job that I would be very happy to do.
Anyone out there?
Yeah.
Jason is.
Yeah,
Jason
for
is
money.
your guy.
I'm not going to do it for free.
Jason's making a
No, but
career
you
shift
If you're
here.
covered in crayfish,
Jason, we just started this whole thing with the Patreon and
Yeah.
doing the shows here with Maka.
Tony-
So can you just try to bring it back here?
That's what
Sorry.
estheticians do. They get
They
paid
what-
to do
who?
that stuff.
Yeah, I know.
But we'll do a headbutting show. How's that?
We're just going to headbutt each other.
No,
or-
headbutt. You bring some bread.
The
You
bread.
can headbutt the bread, and you
Yeah.
can do that, and then maybe
We could do that for charity. You headbutt bread,
Yeah, and
and
then-
then sign it. And
maybe I get a blackhead or something. You know,
well,
we'll
dude, if you get a blackhead, hit me.
Oh my god.
so we get the best of all the world.
Oh hell
okay?
yeah! I would be so into
All right.
that.
And you're invited, Lizzie. You can-
I'll bring gloves.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very youthful. If you ever get a zit, holla. Sorry.
Oh my god.
Back zits. You like those?
I don't know if like is like the right word.
I wish I could transport myself into my wife. That sounded weird.
Okay.
You know what I mean. And then I don't have back
Oh
zits
my
anymore.
god.
I used to have them.
Wow.
And they went away. And now, like,
Okay.
my wife is like, let me get it. And she's like, you don't have any. And I'm like, dang it. Maybe rub some butter on there or something. Like, try to irritate it because it used to be fun.
Okay, now we know where the fetish is.
Yeah, I got a couple. Whatever, loaf head butters. Fucking coming at me for being crooked. This world famous lady that goes, meh, nah, 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 nah. Like, what the fuck is happening in the world? Here's your boba. Like, what the fuck? I gotta go.
What's the
Gotta
best
go to that
boba?
store. Yeah.
What's the best? My favorite boba place? Okay. Great boba in Taiwan.
It's so
But,
No, one that's accessible. One like when
My
here.
favorite
now do
one
two.
is
One
in
that's
Asha.
we can't get. And,
Okay.
And,
in
alright.
SF. San Francisco is my favorite boba place.
What?
Asha Tea House.
Okay.
What is it? What's the flavor that you're into?
They just have a really good lemon jasmine green tea.
Is
but
that a
then
stock thing that Boba does?
That's like a
Lemon
standard
jasmine?
on their menu.
Got it.
But the cool thing about their place is they have all the fruit purees. So whenever you order like a fruit tea,
Mm.
it's like made with fresh fruit and not like a syrup. So
And it's a tea.
it's artisan. Yeah, and it's not like there's tea drinkers where it's like I don't know, you just like drink tea non-sweet and like it's really about like the leaves and all that. This is like the kid version where it's like sweet and like with flavor and
Is it cold or hot?
you can get either. I always get iced. With boba, it's kind of easier with iced because if you get hot then, you know, I don't know, like using a straw with hot stuff
Yeah,
doesn't work. Or you
yeah.
have to like spoon it out,
Right.
which is
What
Let's
is
start
boba?
a boba page of reviews.
What is it?
it's tapioca.
Alright.
So you know like tapioca pudding? Same
Yeah.
stuff.
Is tapioca bad for you?
I mean, if you eat too much of it, probably, but
Does it
Yeah.
have?
She looks
any-
pretty healthy to me.
Yeah, well, she probably burns it off.
True.
But is there? Could you?
If
Get,
you're lazy like us, it's
get-
good for you.
yeah, no. If you're on the couch for a week drinking bobas,
yeah, it's not
planting
good.
your face into bread rolls, I'm gonna get chunky.
Oh my god.
But you can. Could you put energy drink in your boba? Monster balls,
Yeah, I mean,
or Red Bull balls.
I
know.
don't think nothing's stopping you.
Right.
You could definitely do it, but I feel like
CBD boba balls. See where I'm going here?
yeah, you could do all of that. But I don't know. I just like the simple like.
THC
Like-
boba balls.
Okay.
that's
Also,
inevitable.
the boba is something you add to your drink. Like the drink is the thing with the flavoring.
Yeah,
So like
boba balls are the same taste every time.
yeah,
They
I
don't
mean
have
different
different
shops do different things.
Do they ever have different flavored balls?
I mean, yeah, there is some more common than different flavored bobas is like sizes. So they'll be like mini boba. But I
Uh-huh.
don't like that because then you just like you don't even get to chew it. You just like are swallowing all of them, and it's just like a texture in your mouth.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
some
Yeah.
people like
You would love getting boba because they got these giant straws. And
I've had a boba.
Okay, did you shoot a boba ball out of the straw like a spit wad?
No.
Because they explode.
Oh man,
It's awesome. It's pretty awesome.
I
it'd
did
be
not
really
need to
fun
know
to
that.
have like a boba fight
Yeah.
where you just like attack everyone because they stick to everything. Also,
Yeah, you would like it.
Oh, that's
okay, wait.
cool.
At Vans, like at the combi, if you go to like the shallow end and look up, there's like a couple boba balls that I like have shot at the roof. I mean,
They're still there.
they're still there. I confirmed it.
Wow.
Mm.
And then
On that
also,
note.
never mind. I'm not gonna say.
Here, he gave me buttons. Somebody gave me buttons, and I'm assuming this bag, because it has the Clash and Devo, is you.
Hmm.
And then these ones have Metallica and a gay flag. So I'm assuming that's me.
Ooh, Clash, straight to hell.
There you go.
Sweet, thank you. Oh, so we all have gifts. So Lizzie has a
Super cute.
gift. I have buttons. Who gave you these?
I forgot.
Wow.
Shout out to you.
Shout out to the guy that you forgot.
Yeah. Thanks, the guy.
Wow, that's harsh.
Button guy.
I can't remember stuff.
Also, my mom.
Sandinista.
My
Go
mom
ahead.
really loves like when she got to meet Mark Mothersbaugh, which was really
Oh
cool.
yes,
Who?
Mark Mothersbaugh,
Of
Devo.
Devo.
Oh, yeah.
Big fan.
Yeah, he did a thing with a friend of mine, Christian Hand, that does the split the vocals thing. Like he showed me once in his house, he had tracks of the Beatles, and he could separate them so you could just hear Paul McCartney sing, or just hear Ringo drum. Like just like separates everything, so you just hear, them doing.
Stems.
Yeah, and it's emotional. Like hearing uh them sing the track by themselves, like John Lennon singing
Yeah.
with no other thing in it, and you're like, what? It's like he's alive again. So he started playing it on my show, and it kind of got big. And then the show ended, and we stopped hanging out. And then he did it. He does it by himself. He does like live events now where people come and he plays it for everybody, like separates, and all kind of music now. Everything, Pantera, doesn't matter. Everything. He has separate tracks. But he did one with Devo guy the other day. I saw him
Oh,
post
sick.
it, and he was there sitting next to him.
Oh yeah, Mark would be all about that.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
What did you think when we got Amanda Palmer to do your intro?
Oh my god, I feel like
That was pretty fun.
my brain was just like canceled. I don't know. I couldn't like process it.
So we did sort of celebrity cameo intros in the last Birdhouse video,
Yeah.
and I asked Amanda Palmer, who she and I are both fans of. She's
Who
a
is that?
musician.
What?
She was in the Dresden Dolls, and now she does solo stuff. Actually, they're doing Dresden Dolls reunion, I think next year or
Yeah.
soon. She's like prolific artist and musician, and I knew that she was living in New York, and we were going to be in New York shooting at this bowl. So I hit her up like, hey, would you do this thing? Like, let's do an intro for Lizzie. And we set a day and a time, and basically had her tucked into a corner on the street, busking like she was playing,
Yeah.
hat out. And then she's just playing. And as we were walking by, Lizzie didn't realize it was her. She just thought it was literally just a street musician.
Yeah.
And then she started singing about us.
Oh shit.
It was pretty cool.
So you had no idea, and you're like, wait a minute, are they singing about us? Wait a minute, is that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like all the things just fell
it
together.
was pretty cool.
But
That
it's
is-
also crazy because like she like started from busking, and so it was like very surreal.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was
I'll
not-
say.
But the for me, the surreal moment was she came back to our hotel to hang out for a little bit, and then did an interview with you. I don't know where that footage is.
I don't know.
I feel like Jason must have it, but she literally interviewed you. Like you guys were just sitting in bed, and she's doing like this one-on-one interview with Lizzie, and Lizzie was frozen, just like,
Yeah.
what is going on?
Yeah, I totally, somebody you look up to is not only did they sing your intro, but now they're like, hey, tell me more about yourself. That's like Glenn Danzig or James Hetfield being, Jason, tell me more. I'd be like, what is happening?
Yeah, I just remember like in 9th grade, I used to like play her music, or not play
Yeah.
it, not me playing. I would play it and listen to it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that was like my best friend and I would do, and just like listen to her, listen to like Dresden Dolls. And,
Yeah. She means a lot to you.
yeah. And then I like read her book like later on, and I was just like, wow, she's so sick.
Is it you read the book before you met her?
Yeah.
So all that, you're very interested in her whole life, and there she is asking you about yours.
Yeah, it was cool.
That's fucking
We have to
cool.
find that.
Yeah, that sounds.
I'll retrieve that. Anyway, that was fun for me too because I'm a big fan. Well, Lizzie, thank you for coming by, and we didn't have to talk about your pelvis, your
Sure.
leg.
You just did. But anyway,
What's that?
You just did.
No, we didn't have to make it the focus.
Right. We're not going to play
Already
this.
did
Like
that.
We went deep into the loop again, but
oh yeah.
you know,
But
it's
we have
fascinating.
footage of her making that loop,
Yeah, from all angles.
so you could put it in this episode, and the one where she makes it. I'm saying.
I like how you're saying from all angles. There's like no one actually filmed the loop. Like there's like footage of it from like iPhone footage.
Oh.
Yeah. It wasn't. Yeah, it was not a professional. No, I think there's at least one.
No.
Really?
Or maybe
not.
Davis filmed it, like fully, but I don't know.
Oh, Davison. I know there's at least one professional, like proper ratio. You know.
Filming?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
So what
Mike
number?
Sinclair filmed it, and that's like the one that like went viral, like that, like not viral, but like
Who did?
Mike Sinclair. And
Oh,
on
yeah,
his
yeah.
iPhone, because he was just like there.
What
Yeah.
number person are you in the loop?
I don't know, like something around like 24.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. If
Did you
anyone
get to
wants it, hit me up.
the video or the loop?
The loop. I'm tired of seeing people get hurt on it.
Oh, to sell the loop.
Yeah, sure. Or have a home for
If
it.
I was more successful, I would totally buy that. Just put it in the backyard.
God.
Not
After
doing
the last time, I mean, having Felipe do it was huge, but then Jimmy getting hurt, it was just like I don't want.
it.
I don't want this. It's always either this amazing event or the most tragic thing. It's
Yeah.
never in between.
Yep.
And I'd rather not be the one responsible for that
Well,
anymore.
it's if you had your chance, you know.
True.
The offer. If I got to do it, you could have done it.
Yeah.
Because I would just showed up on a whim. So hey, man, we got the loop. You want to try it? I was like, yeah. If I do that, I can look back on that for the rest of my life and be like, you did it. And I felt like I was definitely not in skate shape either. And I was like, man, you barely can skate, and you did the loop. Like that's sure. It took a little longer than your average bear, but I still got it.
Yeah. Well, hit me up.
You
It's right. It's literally right over here. It's just past this wall.
could
In
have it in your
storage.
backyard, and you could kill your friends.
Yes.
It's that easy.
Okay, Lizzie, any parting words?
Good to catch up again, and good to see you guys. Good to
See
be
you.
here and talk about different things.
Yes, we did.
Thank you.
I like the bread lady a lot.
And we're very proud of you. I'm very proud of you. Thank you for representing skateboarding so well to a bigger audience. Thank you for representing Birdhouse, obviously, but also just the way you carry yourself is with dignity and grace, and we appreciate it.
I appreciate that. That's
Sure,
really
so
sweet
cute.
of you to say.
Okay, see you guys next week.
Like and describe.
Describe.
That's what we say.